So we're back with another video, and today we're going to be looking at whether we think the newly promoted teams will survive the Premier League season next season. Will they stay or will they get relegated back to the Championship? So we'll get straight into it. So the teams in question are Leeds United, Burnley, and Sunderland. I will start off with Burnley. Well, they've been into the Premier League quite a few times, in and out of the Premier League quite a few times within the last 15 years. So they're quite accustomed to the intensity of the Premier League. I think in recent years, in the past 2-3 years, it's got a lot more intense. So it's going to be a little bit more challenging for them with the players that, teams are bringing in. Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester City, Arsenal, Manchester United as well. Like, these teams are strengthening their squads massively. Brentford strengthened their keeper lineup. So that's going to be a challenge for teams like Leeds, Burnley, and Sunderland to keep up with. Do I think Burnley would survive? It's really hard to say until you've watched the first match. And I think after the first match of this season, I'll probably do my official Premier League predictions. Right now it's just ideas and thoughts, but you never know until you actually see how teams perform. And hopefully we will be doing a live stream for matches. And if you was to join us, then, well, we'll happily welcome you. So with Burnley, I mean, last time they were in the Prem, I believe they had Vincent Kompany as their manager. I might be wrong. Or was it Stephen? No. Vincent Kompany, I think, was the manager. Sean Dyche as well. Like, strong, good managers. I'm not sure who they've got right now. I'm not really looking too deep into it just yet. Do they survive? I think they'll probably do better than the likes of Wolves. Wolves have just lost two massive players in Ryan Aït-Nouri. He's gone to Manchester City, and Matheus Cunha, who is going to United. Now, those are two people, one that's creating the chances and one that's making and scoring the chances. So do they survive next year? I don't think so. I think Wolves will probably get relegated, which means out of those three teams, one of them are kind of safe. Do I think it will be Burnley? I'm not sure just yet. So let's dissect the the Sunderland one. I'm excited to see Sunderland back in the Premier League, mainly because of the rivalry between them and Newcastle. Like, that's a big rivalry, and it's been missing. The Premier League's had the Manchester derby, City versus United. It's always been a quality match to watch, a heated match. But with United slightly falling off in recent times, it's been more of a, okay, we expect City to win, which is quite similar with most rivalries at the moment, to be fair. But you kind of expect City to win. But it's always going to be there. Once upon a time, it was the other way around. Probably before 2010, that Manchester derby was more, we expect United to win. They're going to absolutely batter City. But these days, times have changed. You've got the Liverpool-Everton Merseyside derby. That one's always heated, no matter how, even when both teams were pretty bad in 2012, 2013, well, we wasn't that great. They weren't that great. They had Seamus Coleman, who I think is still there. I'm not sure if he's retiring. So that's always a good one to watch. You got the Arsenal and Tottenham North London derby. That one's another heated match, another one where you got to prove who's the better side. And these days you expect Arsenal to win, but Tottenham do put up a fight in certain matches against Arsenal. You've also got the other London derbies: Chelsea, Fulham. You've got Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham, Arsenal, and then West Ham, Arsenal, etc., etc. But these are what would you call them? They are featured rivalries. They're not really big rivals. So yeah, it will be quite fun to have that another northeast derby, Tyneside derby. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, that'll be interesting. That'll be an interesting match. I can't wait to see how good that both teams will fare in that type of match. Will Sunderland show that they've got fight? It'll be amazing if that was the first match for Sunderland, because you get to see whether they get an introduction to the Premier League and they have to perform at their best. And if they can perform at their best, they might carry on and stick at it throughout the season. Do they survive? I'm not sure. I do think they need to. Well, if they can keep Jayden Danns and let Danns play, they save money on wages, because Liverpool will provide a good amount of the wages for Jayden Danns. And or if they could get a different striker in, or if they can get some quality players in, then there's a chance that they will survive. I don't really see them surviving, if I'm honest. I do think Sunderland will go back down, but they might take their opportunity. And if they do, then fair enough to them. And if they did, let's say so far Burnley and Sunderland were to stay in the Prem, who would get relegated in their place? Well, we've said Wolves are likely to get relegated. And if I'm honest, it would probably be Everton. I would say Everton, yeah. They're good. They've just been surviving for the past few years, and I don't see many players willing or being interested to go join them, which isn't good news for them. And again, I would have actually said Manchester United, as a shock prediction, simply because they didn't have the best of seasons. And if it wasn't for Bruno Fernandes, then they would have been in deep, deep waters. And luckily, Amorim has decided to get rid of a few players. Some players that don't want to stay there. He said, fine, you shoo. And he's bringing in Matheus Cunha. He's bringing in a few other players. I can't remember at the top of my head. But he's improving that team. He's building something that he wants, which is something that a lot of managers, Mourinho, Solskjaer, Ten Hag, didn't really do. Bring in their own team, their own style. Change the style, give the fans belief. When Klopp first came to Liverpool, he said, listen, give me 4 years, and we'll win this title. And to say that when we hadn't won it since 1990 or something like that, 1990, yeah, bold statement. And he went and done it. And then he went and done it a year earlier, won the Champions League. And then a year later, won the Premier League, and he was quite close to winning quite a few more. And that's all we needed, belief, and that's what United need. They need someone that can get the fans to proper believe, get the players to proper believe in the project. And to be honest, they probably need new owners. From what I've seen and what I've heard, yeah, it's not it, Anyways, finally, Leeds United. Now, I've got a very, I love Leeds United. I want to see Leeds United succeed, Growing up, I grew up in Leeds. Always back then, but I was always a Liverpool fan. From the point I started watching English football, I was always watching teams in red because that was my favourite colour. And then I wouldn't really pay attention to most of the teams in red, apart from the one where there was a guy wearing the number 8 and there was a guy wearing the number 9 who had long hair. And over time, I realised this team is Liverpool, and it's Steven Gerrard and Fernando Torres. And they're the reasons I was watching a team in red. I must have seen them once and I was like, oh, I like this team. Meanwhile, at the time, the rest of my family were Arsenal fans. My brother, after a few years, decided to switch to City because he didn't like to be a part of the crowd, didn't want to be part of, the rest of the family being Arsenal fans. So he decided to choose City before they were actually good. They were really bad back then. And I was laughing at him, and, he's had the last laugh over the past few years. Thankfully, the past season, I was the one having the laugh. But yeah, Liverpool always supported them. Although I was living in Leeds, I always backed Leeds. I've played in the Leeds United Stadium back in my day when I used to kick football. In fact, that was my last ever competitive like league match, cup match. Actually, it was. We won, but it wasn't for Leeds and it wasn't professional. It was Sunday League football, but that was the stadium for the final. So I've always got a soft spot for Leeds. Yeah, I want to see them succeed. I don't think they'll get relegated this time around. I think they want to survive. I think they want to stay. They want to do a Bournemouth type. They used to be the big dogs in England at once upon a time, you know. They were the team to go to. I think Rio Ferdinand played for them. James Milner played for them. Micah Richards, I think, played for them as well. Like, they've had some quality players over the years. Quality players. And they need to get back to what they were. And I think if they can really get the right signings in, if they're going to let go of their manager, then get a quality top class manager who can, you know, steer the ship. And I think they would. I think Leeds United, out of the three newly promoted teams, I think they're the ones that are likely to stay, but we'll have to see. And who would get relegated in their place? It's a tough one. In all honesty, I think Wolves will get relegated. I think Sunderland get relegated. And then if there was one other team, it would probably be Everton that get relegated. I think Crystal Palace are too strong. Nottingham Forest have had a really strong season. Chelsea, no chance. Fulham won't get relegated. Brighton are a quality team now. Bournemouth a quality team. Brentford have just improved on their defensive structure. They need to strengthen their attack if they are going to lose Bryan Mbeumo, but I'm sure they'll find someone, a wonder kid. Villa, again, Champions League team, they're not getting relegated. Arsenal, never. City, no. Liverpool, no. United, maybe not. Newcastle, no. West Ham could get relegated. That's one to see. So that could be another team that gets relegated instead of Everton. But we'll have to see. Let me know what you think in the comments. Drop a like, subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Click the post notification bell item so you know exactly when we post. And other than that, see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.